evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas G. Now, Bihar, a state that's known for its rich history and, of course, political turbulence many times in the past as well, is all set to go to the polls. On November 6th and 11th, in two phases, Bihar will be voting, and November 14th is when we'll find out who the true Nayak of the state is. While the BJP has set an ambitious target of over two-thirds majority in the state, will the Modi magic or the Nitish factor work on ground? Or will the popularity of Tejasvi Yadav and the RJD, as well as, of course, the Congress, which is campaigning actively in Bihar, will that work? That's the big question that we're looking at. But the politics is already intensifying. Congress leader Imran Masood has made a bizarre remark. He has said that there should be Supreme Court monitored elections held in Bihar, something that hasn't been seen before.
चुनाव आयोग निष्पक्ष नहीं है, इसके लिए मेरी अपनी चाहत है कि हम मांग भी करता हूं कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट अपनी निगरानी में इन तमाम चीजों को संपन्न कराए.
Meanwhile, the suspense and showdown over who the real Jananayak is only escalating. Bharat Ratna Karpuri Thakur, someone who has made invaluable contribution to the state of Bihar and who's seen as a major social reformer with his contributions in the form of reservation, is someone who's widely respected across the state. But we have seen Congress even come in with that particular description and try to appropriate it, while we've seen the Prime Minister criticizing the Congress party for trying to appropriate the Jananayak title. We've seen leaders of the Congress party, particularly one leader, Rakesh Sinha, who has said that Karpuri Thakur is the Jananayak of the state and Rahul Gandhi is the Jananayak of the nation.
आजकल लोग ये जननायक की भी चोरी करने में लगे और इसलिए बिहार के लोगों से मैं जागरूक रहने का आग्रह करूंगा. हमारे कर्पूरी ठाकुर साहब का ये जनता द्वारा दिया गया सम्मान कोई चोरी न कर जाए.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's take this across to our panelists. Joining us live is Guru Prakash, national spokesperson of the BJP. We also have with us Sujata Pandey, the political analyst. Joining us from the RJD, we have Ravi Shankar Ravi, national spokesperson. Nikhil Jain, advocate, also a political analyst with us. Neerja Chaudhary, senior journalist, also joining us on the show. Let me start with you first. Nikhil Jain, already a battle for who is the Jananayak. Because the BJP is looking at it as an insult to Karpuri Thakur when you say that Karpuri Thakur is Jananayak of the state and Rahul Gandhi is Jananayak of India. Why this comparison and battle over who the Jananayak really is?
See, Madhav, whether it is some congressman or whether it is somebody from the BJP, they're well within their right to compare one political leader to another political leader. So I will not go into that. It is their right. Fact of the matter is that you started the debate by saying that the Congress is trying to appropriate Karpuri Thakur, but I see it in a very different way, that the BJP is the one that's been trying to appropriate a slew of leaders and freedom fighters across our, freedom struggle and thereafter, whether it's Sardar Patel, Dr. Ambedkar. But what's laughable is that the BJP leaders or Narendra Modi do not espouse the values that these leaders proclaim. And so for the case of Karpuri Thakur also, that today they think that Karpuri Thakur, today they like to pretend as if they are somebody who'd always adhere by the word of what Karpuri Thakur said. But let's not forget the kind of things that they said to Karpuri Thakur when he was alive. Can we forget that the BJP or rather the Jan Sangh and the RSS people used to say, ye e-arakshan kahan se aayi, Karpuri ki maa bhi aayi. That's the kind of vulgar and condemnable language they used for Karpuri Thakur when he was alive, and now they try to, hail him as a hero. Why? Because they've realized that OBCs and EBCs today hold the numbers. They are the ones who can vote or not vote a party into power. So this, the kind of hegemony that the BJP had with the upper castes, they are trying to look beyond that, eat into the OBC vote. But the thing is that they've never really done for these sections of the society. They still are run and,
Guru Prakash, I want Guru Prakash to respond to that. Guru Prakash, it is an attempt by the BJP to appropriate Karpuri Thakur. You have spoken out against him in the past, and therefore he sees it as an attempt by the BJP to appropriate the legacy of Karpuri Thakur. Your response?
No, I think, Madhav, the Congress party needs a lesson in political history of our country. Karpuri Thakur lifelong opposer of the Congress party. And Karpuri Thakur, when he was the chief minister, he made a government with the support of Jan Sangh, the erstwhile Bharatiya Janata Party. And I can challenge my friend, the Congress representative or the political analyst, of a saying or a slogan that he just quoted. There is absolutely no reference where you can attribute such a slogan with any Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh or the Bharatiya Janata Party leader. Point number one. Point number two, we have to understand, only last year, the 100th year of Jan Nayak Karpuri Thakur, the Congress party never ever in the past even remembered the legacy of Karpuri Thakur. But it was the Bharatiya Janata Party, the NDA, that accorded the highest civilian honor to the Jan Nayak Karpuri Thakur. Point number three, my friend from the Congress party from the other side, he was talking about representation and social justice. I have to make one thing very clear. For the first time in the history of our country, Madhav, we have an Adivasi ki beti sitting at the highest constitutional position in the country. For the first time, we have an empowered leader from OBC community in the form of Prime Minister Modi, who has brought India to the fourth largest economy in the Committee of Nations. India is respected today. And I'm surprised the audacity of the Congress people to even mention about Sardar Patel, to even mention about Dr. Ambedkar. It was this government supported by the Bharatiya Janata Party to accord the topmost civilian honor, Bharat Ratna, to even Baba Saheb Ambedkar. So today the new avatar of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, so in 2019 he took an avatar of Chaukidar Chor hai. Now in 2024 he's taken a new avatar. Duggal Sahab roz naya roop le lete hai. So Congress party leader Mr. Rahul Gandhi is none other than Duggal Sahab.
Nikhil, respond to that. The BJP very clearly is saying you ignored several luminaries who contributed to the nation, from Ambedkar to Karpuri Thakur. We are the ones who recognized their value and given them, the due recognition that they deserved. And also, it is a fact, Nikhil Jain, that Karpuri Thakur is someone who was opposed to the emergency. He, in fact, fought against it. In fact, supported JP's movement as well. So how are you then trying to say that Karpuri Thakur in any way was, or his legacy is anyway linked to that of the Congress party?
Madhav, first of all, it is not the claim of the Congress that Karpuri Thakur's legacy is linked to the Congress party, other than the fact that Karpuri Thakur espoused the cause of social justice, espoused the cause of getting the rights for the marginalized communities, and that is exactly what the current leader of the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi, is doing. Number two, when the BJP says that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the first OBC Prime Minister, I think they're forgetting that, Chandrasekhar as being the Prime Minister. They're forgetting the fact that there were many other leaders from marginalized communities.
He was not an OBC. I'm sorry, Nikhil. I think you need to correct your fact. Chandrasekhar ji was not an OBC, sir.
Guru, my friend, he was from a community which we now consider. He was from a community which we now consider as part of the OBCs across many states of the country. So you did not.
He's an upper caste Rajput. How can you call a Rajput an OBC? Let me correct you. Chandrasekhar ji is a Rajput leader from Eastern UP. Please correct. Nikhil, you're a learned man, my friend. And I'm not correcting you on air, but you need to, when you speak of politics, when you speak of social justice, you need to get your vocabulary.
Let's not argue. Let's if you have made a mistake, it's okay. You can accept it. Let's move on. Let's not. Nikhil Jain, let's not dwell on these things. The point is this, and in fact, the BJP will say that this also shows the level of understanding as far as such complex issues are concerned. Let's be clear about what we are saying. I mean, if you have actually caught on the wrong foot, you can apologize and move on. Let me bring in Neerja Chaudhary though on this. Neerja Chaudhary, the legacy of someone like Karpuri Thakur, it's very important to understand, for our viewers to understand why this is so significant, because he is a man who's seen now, cutting across lines. Of course, the BJP will say that we've given him the due recognition, but he's also somebody who has been a mentor for leaders such as Lalu Prasad Yadav, etc., who will, of course, want to at some level or the other talk about his legacy. Help us try to understand why this is becoming so central to Bihar politics ahead of polls. Neerja Chaudhary.
I think, Karpuri Thakur, old socialist, OBC, he was the one who brought in affirmative action, reservation. There was a lot of, resistance to it. This was in 78. And so for many reasons, Karpuri Thakur is really looked up to in Bihar. As you said, he's the mentor of a whole generation of leaders. They may be in the BJP, they may be in the opposition Mahagathbandhan today, the old socialist stream. But Bihar is going to answer many questions for us. Number one, has the mood started to change in heartland India? Does Vote Chori or Vote Adhikar that Rahul Gandhi has made into an issue, and he drew large crowds during his Vote Adhikar Yatra, is that an electoral issue in the polls this time? This is a very important thing because it's going to have a ripple effect in other states of India where SIR is going to, the intensive revision is going to be held by the Election Commission. Number 3, this election is going to be about EBC, how they vote, and how the women of Bihar are going to vote. Nitish Kumar has played a card, Mukhyamantri Rozgar Yojana for Mahila. Now, this is taking a leaf out of the book of what happened in Madhya Pradesh, Ladli Behan Yojana, Ladki Behan Yojana in Maharashtra. Both of them were cards played by the NDA to beat back in anti-incumbency, and they succeeded. Now, will the same thing happen in Bihar, where there is anti-incumbency of Nitish Kumar of 20 years? People are looking for new faces, and yet women have been a constituency that have backed Nitish Kumar and brought him to power again and again in the past election. So will that happen again? Even though I believe this is going to be a very close contest, as was the case last time. The other thing is, of course, will there be a...
Let me bring in the RJD now. Just a second, Nirja, you made two very important points on Karpuri Thakur and that women's scheme. I just want to get in a quick comment from the RJD spokesperson on that. I'm going to come right back to you. Ravi Shankar, first and foremost, do you agree with this kind of statement coming in from Mr. Sinha of the Congress, where he's comparing Karpuri Thakur with Rahul Gandhi? Is that a fair comparison? Because he is the mentor of Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav. Do you even agree with that? And how are you going to counter the Mukhyamantri Mahila Rozgar Yojana, which Nirja Chaudhary was talking about? Your response?
I think, Madhav, when a leader makes such kind of a statement, it should be interpreted from the perspective, from what perspective they are making such statements. And see, in politics, I think these are some, ideal status, political ideal status, which I think every political leader should aspire to attain that. What is the problem if any leader wants to become a Lok Nayak or like Lok Nayak? It doesn't mean that some leader is going to replace the other leader. It means that that one should aspire.
Will Lalu endorse this line that Karpuri Thakur is Jannayak of Bihar and Rahul Gandhi is Jannayak of the nation? Are you going to seriously put Karpuri Thakur? Will Lalu Prasad Yadav be okay with putting Rahul Gandhi above Karpuri Thakur?
No, it's not about substituting some leader from other leader. It's about trying to identify and trying to achieve those ideals, those values.
What do you mean by one for Bihar and one for the nation? What does that mean?
Sorry?
When he says Karpuri Thakur is leader of Jannayak of Bihar and Rahul Gandhi is Jannayak of the nation, what does that mean? Obviously, he's giving more importance to Rahul Gandhi than Karpuri Thakur. Will Lalu Prasad Yadav agree? Will he agree to this comment?
We should not agree with this. Karpuri Ji was the leader of the entire nation, not just one state. Rahul Gandhi is also the leader of entire nation. So I think, this is not agreeable.
No, but if Nirja Chaudhary has just told you what the contribution of Karpuri Thakur is, what is the contribution of Rahul Gandhi?
No, Rahul Gandhi is making his contributions in his own ways. In recent years, he has also been raising the issues of lower caste suppression, subjugation, oppression of lower caste and the caste census, and on the basis of which the policies should be made.
Sujata Pandey, would you agree with this? Rahul Gandhi has also been raising issues of lower caste in his own way. Your response to this comparison of Karpuri Thakur and Rahul Gandhi? Sujata Pandey.
See, first So Madhav, I will talk about all this in Hindi because people should Bihar know that तेजस्वी यादव की पार्टी ने आज कर्पूरी ठाकुर को भुला दिया है, बिहार के जननायक को भुला दिया है और राहुल गांधी को जननायक बना दिया है। लेकिन तो सबसे बड़ा सवाल तो यही होता है कि अगर राहुल गांधी जननायक है तो तेजस्वी यादव क्या है, पिछलग्गू। दूसरी बात, कर्पूरी ठाकुर बिहार की नहीं पूरे देश के नेता थे, वो सत्ता के नहीं सादगी के नेता थे। उनका कुर्ता फटा हुआ था तो कुर्ता का खरीदने के पैसे भी डोनेशन से चंदा करके आए थे। कर्पूरी ठाकुर नीचे बैठ के लोगों से बात करते, राहुल गांधी अभी भी कैमरों के बीच बैठ के वीवीआईपी सिक्योरिटी लेके चलते हैं, तो कर्पूरी ठाकुर और राहुल गांधी की कोई तुलना ही नहीं है। दूसरी बात, कर्पूरी ठाकुर लड़े किससे थे? कर्पूरी ठाकुर fought with Congress elitist system. He called Congress the feudal party. He called Congress anti-backward. He called Congress that it is a party of privilege and a Delhi party. He was against the very concept of Congress, and that is why he broke away from Congress. He fought with Jagannath Mishra because it was against everything that Congress stood for in Bihar. कर्पूरी ठाकुर stood for Bihar's unique identity, not Delhi-led politics. Rahul Gandhi is everything that कर्पूरी ठाkur
Respond to that. The values of कर्पूरी ठाkur you're not really upholding because he stood against the Congress party who you have now tied up with. Respond to that charge of Sujata Pandey. Ravi Shankar Ravi.
No, Madhav, I think at different political junctures, these equations have always changed. See, in emergency, Jansang and other socialist parties together fought against the emergency and dictatorship. After 2014, when we all perceive and experience that there is some kind of undeclared emergency, so the political parties are aligning and fighting against this kind of a situation. So I think in history, which party was making a coalition with which party, that alone should not give it doesn't give a picture of the entire political
does all of this justify the comparison between कर्पूरी ठाकुर and Rahul Gandhi? How does all of this justify the comparison, sir?
No, I think no two leaders can be compared in absolute terms. I said that a great leader should be followed.
No two leaders can be compared. Nikhil Jain, respond to that. Now finally the RTD spokesperson is coming around to say no two leaders can be compared in this manner.
Madhav, is that for me?
Yes, Nikhil Jain, the RJD panelist is saying no two leaders can be compared in this manner. You are just defending this comment of Mr. Sinha. Now the RJD spokesperson is saying this is not correct.
No matter what I'm saying is that political leaders, whichever party they are from, they are free to compare their leaders with leaders from the past. And if you ask the similarities between Jan Nayak कर्पूरी ठाकुर and the leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi, both of them fought for the rights of the
margin. Not if it's factually incorrect, sir. That's the point we are making.
No. I'll tell you how.
Are you actually saying that Rahul Gandhi's contributions are more than that of कर्पूरी ठाकुर?
Nobody is saying that. Nobody should be saying that. These sort of comparisons that Rahul Gandhi's contribution versus कर्पूरी ठाkur's contribution versus Jawaharlal Nehru, those are not the kind of arguments and discussions we should be getting into. This is nothing but distraction. We should be talking about the fact that कर्पूरी ठाkur led the cause of giving more.
If you're making a flawed comparison and the BJP is criticizing it, there's bound to be discussion around it. And Nikhil Jain, let me also ask you, what do you mean when Imran Masood comes out and says there should be Supreme Court monitored polls? Has that ever happened? You're a lawyer. Has it ever happened in this country?
I'll tell you why those questions are being raised. That in the past 1 or 2 years, we've seen the absolute partisanship of the Election Commission of India. And I'll tell you the most recent incident that the Election Commission of India in the Supreme Court.
I'm sorry, but this has never happened before. You can't change the way the system works just as you wish and feel. Nikhil Jain, such kind of a demand, one has to also be reasonable. An elected member of parliament making such a comment.
If you're asking me a question,
but you also have to allow me to cross-question you if you're not making sense.
That's all.
Yeah, so but please speak sense then, because clearly if you're not going to speak logically, you will be countered and you will be fact-checked.
Madhav, if you already have a perception that whatever the Congress party says or whoever is supporting the Congress party, that is wrong, I can't help that. You'll have to allow me to complete. The point
Nikhil Jain, you were just short on facts. You didn't even know Chandrasekhar's caste, so please relax. Don't lecture me on how debates are to be conducted. Stick to the facts for a change. But let me bring in Guru Prakash on this. Guru Prakash, simple question that is being asked over here. It's a legitimate demand because of what we have seen as far as election commission is concerned. Respond to what Nikhil Jain has said. Guru Prakash.
No. I think, chill, man. Yeah, all of us speak on our own chance. Madhav show में ऐसा होता नहीं है. Dekho, we have Neerja ji on our panel, and I think she is someone who has not only written it but also lived the experiences. So my friend from RJD was talking about undeclared emergency. I mean, with all due respect, I have a great amount of respect for my friend from the RJD, but the amount of vitriol that Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi has faced from Maut Ka Saudagar to Neet Jaat and all of that, to even say such a thing is very rich. And the Congress party said, why are you talking about Karpuri Thakur? Your leader, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, keeps on talking about Savarkar every now and then. Savarkar ye, Savarkar wo. We never said that. But when it comes to Jan Nayak Karpuri Thakur, we have to take this very seriously. We have to understand that the Jan Nayak Karpuri Thakur, and you also attributed, Nikhil, I think you should actually check your facts. When you said that there was a slogan that was particularly used for Jan Nayak Karpuri Thakur and you attributed it to the RSS, you should please go and check. RSS and the BJP never ever. I come from Bihar. I follow Jan Nayak Karpuri Thakur. The real slogan was, since Karpuri Thakur came from Naik community, the barber community, the slogan was Karpuri Karpura Chhod Kursi Pakad Astura. आप जाइए अस्टोरा पकड़िए और नाई का काम करिए. This came from the feudal section of the society, and you cannot attribute it to the BJP or the RSS. When it comes to social justice, when it comes to representation, when it comes to marginalized section, in the last 11 years, election, we have seen that coming out and supporting the Bharatiya Janata Party. Point number 2, last point.
Ravi Shankar Ravi. That's a very important point. I want Ravi Shankar Ravi to respond to that because that was his comment that you are responding to. Ravi Shankar Ravi, quick response to what Guru Prakash has just said.
The core political values of BJP are Hindutva, which means exclusion of other religious groups, and the upper caste hegemony. There is no doubt about it. Through the social engineering and other mechanisms, they have been successful in garnering the votes from other sections of society. But from their ideology, it is very clear that what they want and what kind of values they want to establish in the society. And for on the issue of social justice, the Chief Justice of India, the one lawyer threw his shoe
that's
on
a different debate, sir. That is a very relevant but a different debate. In fact, that's going to be my next debate on the show. I'm requesting you to allow me to come in, but I want to bring in Neerja Chaudhary on one very important aspect. Neerja Chaudhary, here you have a situation where the BJP is saying that the NDA is going to get over 2/3 majority in Bihar. They are saying that they have seen in the past elections how Nitish Kumar has defied anti-incumbency. 2 decades later, is he still in a position to do that? Neerja Chaudhary.
Well, you know, this Nitish Kumar is an extraordinary phenomenon at one level. He's, he's done so many flip-flops on the NDA side, on the Mahagathbandhan side. His health is failing. The whole state knows that. And yet the BJP is compelled to have him lead their alliance in this election also, rather than go for somebody else. Because they realize that if he is removed, the vote will be rocked. Now, what is it that the constituency of Nitish Kumar sees in him? As I mentioned earlier, women are a very important part of his constituency that have brought him to power again and again. The non-Yadav OBCs are a very important part of his constituency. The extremely backward, the Mahadalits, the Pasmanda Muslims. So the BJP would like to lead the government, and maybe it may get even more seats this time. But it's very difficult to remove Nitish Kumar. So that is one of the enigmas of Bihar today. And the battle is going to be Tejasvi Yadav Kumar, but a very fascinating phenomenon that is being played out as far as Nitish Kumar is concerned.
Absolutely. So will that enigma continue? Will the engagement with that enigma continue? Is the time over? We'll only know perhaps on the 14th of next month once those votes are counted. I'd like to thank all our panelists for joining us. Guru Prakash, Sujata Pandey, Nikhil Jain, Ravi Shankar Ravi, as well as Neerja Chaudhary.